Javi, welcome to Adelaide. How are you settling into Adelaide? Had your first training session this morning. How are you settling in?
The first training is all good. I'm very happy to be here. It's a pleasure for me. It's here.
Isai is obviously a friend of yours. Was pretty important in this transfer. What has Isai told you about Adelaide United?
Isaías me habló muy bien de la ciudad, de Adelaide, me habló también muy bien del equipo y me dijo que es un club muy cercano, muy familiar y eso es lo que me estuvo comentando. Me dijo que tanto para mí como para mi familia es un sitio en el que iba a disfrutar mucho.
Javi, you're coming from a big club in Spain. Why Adelaide United? Why come to Adelaide and play in the A-League?
Porque cuando salió la oportunidad de jugar en Australia, es cierto que he jugado muchísimos años en España, pero teníamos las ganas tanto a nivel familiar como a nivel personal. Me habían hablado, tengo un gran amigo que jugaba también aquí en la Liga Australiana, jugaba en el Perth Glory, que es Juan de, y nada, estaba muy ilusionado, me hablaba muy bien de esta liga y estábamos muy ilusionados a nivel familiar de poder venir aquí.
What are you hoping to achieve this season?
Pues a nivel colectivo, pues espero que se cumplan los objetivos que nos planteemos como equipo. Espero que tengamos los objetivos más altos posibles y a nivel personal, pues me gustaría ayudar en lo que pueda. Soy un jugador de equipo, siempre me he mostrado así y espero que pueda poder aportar mi granito de arena, ¿no?, al equipo y aportar mi experiencia. Es verdad que vengo para ayudar y es el objetivo que me marco a nivel personal.
Talk about, you say your experience. What sort of experience do you bring? You've played against some of the biggest players in Spain. What sort of leadership do you hope to bring to Adelaide United?
Intentaré, como he dicho antes, ¿no?, mi experiencia, ¿no? He jugado muchísimos partidos, casi 300 partidos en una de las mejores ligas del mundo y eso seguro que me ha dado un bagaje, ¿no?, en el que seguro que cuando estemos en el campo pues yo pueda ayudar a los compañeros y también, ¿por qué no?, siempre se puede seguir aprendiendo y que ellos también me aporten a mí, ¿no?, porque seguramente también son diferentes ligas y seguro que hay una forma de jugar y cosas diferentes, aunque creo que el fútbol se habla en el mismo idioma.
Did the COVID-19, the virus have an impact on the decision to come to Australia and play in the A-League?
No ha influido porque quizás a lo mejor en un momento de pandemia tan grande, pues a lo mejor separarme de mi familia, de mis padres, los padres de mi pareja, de mis amigos, en un momento tan complicado en el que puede pasar algo en España, yo creo que también es un reto y me demuestro a mí y quiero que así lo entienda también, que estoy apostando por estar aquí porque si sucede algo allí yo no estoy allí y es verdad que la pandemia ha jugado en contra para que me viniera aquí, lo que tenía muchas ganas de venir a vivir esta experiencia.
Where are you hoping to play your football? Where has the coach asked you to slot in to this side?
No, aún no hemos hablado. He hablado con un asistente técnico y nos hemos conocido y demás, no hemos hablado de la posición en el campo, pero me desenvuelvo, soy un jugador que siempre me he considerado polivalente. Es cierto que he jugado muchos partidos de lateral por los dos lados y también de medio centro. Así que no me importaría, al final siempre digo, ¿no?, estoy a disposición del entrenador y donde él considere oportuno que puedo hacerlo mejor o ayudar más al equipo, pues ahí estaré, ¿no? Pero es cierto que medio centro o lateral no me importa.
What's your first impressions of Adelaide?
I like it. I like it.
Carl, how big of a get is this for Adelaide United?
Look, I think when we announced it, we said how fortunate we are to get a player with the quality of Javi that's played at the standard that he's played at for such a long time. So, I think especially with our younger group, it's going to be vitally important for them that they can learn from him.
He said he hasn't spoken to you yet about where he's going to play. Where do you hope to put him best? Is it going to be a sort of a defensive midfield sort of role?
Yeah, look, I suppose he has that flexibility that he can play in the defence and a defensive midfield role. We're not locking anything in at the moment. We're just going to give him time to settle in, give him time to get his fitness, and then we will then have a serious look at it then.
Has he got enough time to get up and play for the first game? Has he got enough time in terms of his, obviously he's been in quarantine, in terms of making sure he's match fit?
No, I don't think so. I think I would say it would be very unfair on him if we threw him into the deep end in the first game. He needs at least 2 weeks of training before he is available for selection. We want him to play as many games as he can over the course of the season. So there's no point rushing him into the first game.
With James sort of departing the club, does he sort of feel that hole a little bit? I know it wasn't planned like this, but will he feel that hole that James sort of leaves?
Yeah, look, as Javi said, he brings a lot of experience, and I don't think he'd taken too long to get up to speed with the language, and that we've got an assistant coach that speaks Spanish, and one of the players speaks a little bit of Spanish, so I think it won't take him too long to put a stamp in the change room.
How important is that to have people that can speak the language as well? And obviously the fact that he knew Isaias before coming here and has told him about Adelaide. Yeah,
it makes it easier for him to settle in, and that's to make it more familiar for him, and for him to feel comfortable. There's nothing worse than going into a different environment and feeling uncomfortable. So. And we're fortunate that we've got a very tight playing group that get on very well. So I'm sure they will, welcome him with open arms.
Did he have a full session today?
Yeah, Harvey did the full training session today. He managed to get through. We were a little bit unsure how much he would do because he hasn't, been in isolation in a hotel for 2 weeks. But he got through the full session this morning, and he looked really good for someone that hasn't, played for quite a while.
Touched on Troisi before. Bruce, when that happened, said that they're going to try and look for a new player. Is that search still ongoing? Is there still the plan that you're going to...
Yeah, we're definitely looking for someone else to bring into that midfield area, but we're not going to rush out and just grab the first person that we come across. We're going to take our time, and if that means that we don't get someone here till March or the end of February, that's what it is. We've got to make sure we get the right player that fits in with the style of play that we want to play, plus fits in with a playing group.
Would that be a direct replacement for James? Is that what you're looking for, another number 10?
No, not necessarily. I've said earlier, that I would like another midfield player, and it's whether it's a defensive mid or attacking mid. We've got the flexibility of some of the players that we've got in the playing group that can play an attacking role and a defensive role.
Javi's played against some top calibre players, in Spain. Are you hoping that his experience translates to some of your younger players in this squad? Yeah, most definitely, and that's one of the reasons why we brought him in here. We knew we needed some experienced players to come in and help these young players, and there's no better way to learn is from a fellow professional player. So I'm sure our young players will be very keen on watching how he goes about in training, and plus with the way that he plays. How did you play for this morning?
I think he was fine. Football pitch is a football pitch. It has pretty much the same dimensions. So, as I said, I thought he fitted in quite well this morning.
With the impact of the Sydney cluster, how is the start of the season going to be impacted with Adelaide United?
I think at this stage we won't be travelling to Sydney for round 3, but there's something that we just have to roll with the punches. And be very adaptable. It's going to be changing from week to week, and we just have to deal with what is given to us.
Is there a replacement game in terms of that one, or you just go to the next?
As far as I know, we'll just have a bye that week and then play the next game at home after that, I think it is.
Is that the current plan, or is that the contingency thing in case restrictions are lifted?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's at this stage, that, as I said, that things change quite quickly and the borders open and shut. So at this stage, our Western Sydney game will be cancelled. There won't be a replacement game, and we'll just wait and see what happens.